the couple that I may not have spoken to. My name is Chris Mengerink. I'm a implementer of Sage CRM at DWD Technology Group, along with assisting the ERP or Sage 100 software team with the technical and programming and advanced reporting using tools like SQL Server, etc. So I have many roles, but one of the primary things that I do is assist clients with implementing a Sage CRM system. And today we're really going to look at the difference with Sage CRM 7.3 and Sage CRM 7.1, 7.2. Sage has made some big investments in their Sage CRM system. A couple years back, some of you may already know that they sold off their Sage Act and their Sage Sales Logics so they could focus on Sage CRM 7 and focus their resources towards this product to improve the integrations between their ERP systems and Sage CRM. Sage CRM is the CRM system that they integrate with ERP system X3, which is for their very large market companies, 2, 3, 4, 500 user systems, and also all the way down to Sage 50. It is possible to integrate Sage CRM, which is basically the intro to accounting ERP systems at Sage. And I promise this will not be a death by PowerPoint, but I wanted to kind of go through some of the new stuff. We will get into the software and look at it as well, but sometimes it's easier to do things such as the mobile pieces through slides. First thing that's changed is the interface, the user interface. They have made substantial improvements in the user interface this last year. They're really working toward what's called a responsive user interface because they really want to get to where it's device agnostic, meaning it doesn't care what device you're using, it reformats to fit the device. That also brings in the mobile CRM. More and more people want access to their CRM data, and in turn they can get some access to their ERP data when they're out on the road on their mobile devices. So with each iteration, with each year, that is improving. We have native access to Sage CRM live that reformats to fit the screen. You have an app in the Apple App Store. It's called Sales Lite. They have one in the Windows Store, Sales Tracker. They have one coming for the Android Store anytime now. It was spring of this year. I'm hearing the end of May at this point, which would be much like the Sales Lite for the iPhone as an app. But like I said, you can natively access Sage CRM through the mobile device and see information and even enter prospect or a appointment or whatever you need through your mobile device. They've also improved their dashboards and their reporting, their charts. They've added graphics. They've added types of charts that allow us to show more information over time periods. So we'll get to see a little bit of that when we log into the software. Then they also made an improvement in their e-marketing choices. Currently, before 7.3, the only real integration out of the box was with SwiftPage. This iteration of Sage CRM, they added Mailchimp, which if anybody's familiar with Mailchimp, it's an e-marketing tool. It is really the up-and-coming e-marketing tool. I know the accounting side of our firm uses it to do all their e-marketing. And we'll go through that. I have some slides, and then we can walk through that at the end of the software demo. I'll walk through what the Mailchimp integration looks like. They've also made some updates to their Sage 100 integration. So one of the big things that have been requested in the past is we have prospect or lead records in Sage CRM, and we really want to be able to promote them to a customer in Sage 100, but we want to be able to do it on the web. Previously, it was required that you had Sage 100 installed on your machine and access to it to promote a prospect to a customer. Sage has added the feature now where it is not required to have that. You can actually do it through a web page, and it will take the prospect record, convert it to a customer record in Sage 100, and link the two for you. This does require that you have Sage 100 Advanced or Premium for this feature to work. They've made some improvements to their quick order entry. The quick order entry is used for inputting sales orders or quotes through Sage CRM through the browser instead of using the standard Sage 100 sales order entry window. So once again, this does make it so we are not required to have Sage 100 installed on our local machine. We can do it right through the web. This is the second iteration of quick order entry. Each one we're seeing improvements with what we can do customize-wise. And I know this fits some companies. We have a couple clients that use this, and there are a lot of them that have such a, I wouldn't say complex, but an order entry process that they really go through, and they're very strict, and they have certain things that have to be done. And sometimes it fits, sometimes it doesn't. So every company we deal with, we really look at this, is this really an option or not? But it's growing, and it is exciting that they're allowing us to put these orders through Sage CRM. So it allows your outside salespeople, if you want them to, you don't have to let them, but if you would want them to put in quotes or orders just through the web page and generate quote forms, it can be done. One thing they also added this go around is Rma Entry as a pop-up. Now this uses the standard Sage 100 entry screen. It is not web-based yet like quick order entry is, but if you are inside working and you're on a customer record and you need to initiate an Rma entry, they have added a button to do that. So it pops up the RMA, you can enter the RMA information and keep working. One of the things that each iteration that becomes more adaptive, and we just tend to point this out, that Sage CRM out of the box comes with a certain set of features and certain things that it does and does well, but it isn't limited to that. Most recently, we had a client who wanted a wish list set up in Sage CRM, meaning they wanted to be able to go to a customer, select an item from their inventory, and say that the customer wants 5 of these, so that the next morning or whenever that item comes back in stock, it would email the account manager, hey, this item's in stock now, it was on their wish list. And we are working and accommodating that flexibility and producing that. So Sage CRM out of the box doesn't give you the option, but it is customizable, and it can be bent to fit what you need it to do. It also provides information about either what your team is entering. It could be opportunities, it could be service cases, it could just be calls. It also, depending on how it's set up, we can also bring in information from the ERP system to bring all the data together in one spot to produce charts and graphs. Where I've seen something like this used is a sales team that maybe has a call goal per day, so the manager will log in and he'll have a dashboard that shows him, by person where they're at in their process. You also see it in sales goals where someone can log in and see where they're at in their goal for the month. So there's many different ways to use the dashboards, and each business is different. They give you some out-of-the-box dashboards, so you can really take those and learn from them and see what they do and get a feel for what your business needs are for your dashboards. Another big topic is the mobile. overview. And what you're seeing here, you're actually seeing the new user interface. And when I mentioned earlier that it's a responsive user interface, that means it can shift and change to fit a device. So what you're seeing here on the screen is a screenshot of my iPad with Sage CRM running off my laptop. So it has adjusted to fit to the device Sage CRM's user interface. And for an iPad or an Android device like that, it is very nice for the bigger screens. Obviously, the user interface on an iPhone or an Android, such as a Galaxy S5, our real estate is about 2 inches by 4 inches. So the responsive UI in this regard actually has to reformat quite a bit, but on an iPad and whatnot, it looks very similar to the normal user interface now, and it allows us access to our workflow icons if you enable workflow. Like I mentioned, the iPhone Android mobile native access, and this is the native, this isn't the app, looks visually different because we have such small real estate. And so what you see here is my Galaxy S5. I took screenshots of the mobile access through it. And as you can see, looks a little different, but it provides the functionality that on a mobile device we need. We may need just to look up the companies around us. And maybe when we look up those companies, maybe we want to be able to see their sales data, such as what is their current year sales, previous year sales, so that if I'm in a city, I could look up that city and see the people around me and find my big buyers and go visit them, say hello, stuff like that. So it does provide access to it mobile. iPhone Sales Lite, so this is the app, and this is very much like the app that's coming for the Android. Once again, the user interface has been updated significantly to fit more of the style we're used to nowadays. And really, the app does sync with Sage CRM. The big difference being that the app works with the persons or contacts of Sage CRM, which if you look at a CRM system, such as, say, ACT to start with, ACT is a contact management system. It's really not built with a hierarchy of a company then contacts. So the big difference here is iPhone Sales Lite is really working on just the contact level. So it's show me all my contacts where I'm the account manager and the opportunities with those contacts where I'm the account manager. So it provides that data and it syncs it so it's available offline. Okay. Limitations on it being you're syncing data, so you have to be concerned with if you have a very large database with a very large set of person records where you're the account manager, right? How much data do we sync to the phone? Does your phone have the free space, etc.? So there's a lot of questions that tend to go around implementations that use the iPhone Sales Lite, especially if you have a sales team, they're syncing data to their phone, and the salesperson leaves your company. How do we get it off there, etc.? Like I mentioned earlier, a big change in the e-marketing integration is they've integrated with Mailchimp, which provides a really up-to-date, really nice email marketing tool. So what you see here is their design screen, just the basic preview mode of a template that I had put together the other day. And what's really nice about the email marketing with Mailchimp is you actually get a view of when you're building these things or using these things of what is it going to look like on the mobile device, what's it going to look like on the email that will go into, say, Outlook. Okay, so the big thing being if you had Swift page integration before and you've used Swift Pages tools, you know that you can achieve a lot with it, but it's really not, I would say, up to date with today's today's technology on everything. While on the other hand, Mailchimp has taken it to a whole nother level. They've got a mobile app that you can constantly monitor the campaign you started to see how many have opened, clicked, etc. You've got what they call Mailchimp VIP, so you can actually have people marked that, you know, if they open your email, it alerts you, so that maybe you'll call them right away. There's a thing called Mailchimp Snap where get something new in and you can send a photo-based campaign right from a phone. So Sage has shifted to Mailchimp to get a top-of-the-line email marketing tool integrated with their system. And that was a really positive change for them. Some of the things, the benefits of upgrading, because I know some of you out there have Sage CRM already. So the big thing is updated user interface. They're building towards the future, support for the new browsers. So Internet Explorer, Google Chrome, those types of browsers are constantly updating. So if we don't update the Sage CRM systems every so often, then sometimes you run into compatibility issues, okay, because those browsers are constantly being updated. They've increased mobile options, so like I mentioned earlier, each iteration, they are improving their mobile flexibility with the software. The big thing, another big thing is if you have a system, it will roll into the new version. And having done a few of these, and especially doing mine, which I would do a lot of development on my system before I put it out onto clients, and I've already rolled mine up, then I know that a lot of the modifications we've done roll up pretty simply, okay? And that's a big benefit. And the data migrates with ease. Since Sage has kept control of that, each iteration they've moved through, made some changes in the back end, and it just flows through during the upgrade. Okay, that's about as boring as the slides are going to get. Here was just a quick slide of there's a lot of companies that use Sage CRM worldwide. I mean, you can see on there Toyota uses it in a division, BMW. One of my clients in the state of Louisiana uses Sage CRM. So it can be used for many different reasons and many different companies. So let's go ahead and look at the software. I wanted to show one last slide before we jump in the software because some of you maybe hadn't seen the user interface before Sage CRM 7.3. So I kind of wanted to show that for those individuals where this is what Sage CRM 7.2 and older looks like, okay, with the tabs and the green navigation on the left, different things like that. So that will kind of give you a baseline for what you're going to see here in a moment with Sage CRM 7.3. Okay, so this is Sage CRM 7.3, and this is the dashboard. And some of the biggest things you're going to notice right away is navigation has changed significantly in that we no longer have the bars on the left to navigate, right? And you'll notice the screen is cleaner. It's more professional looking. So this is, as I mentioned, really a big part of the improvement in this version is they've really worked on cleaning all this up, making navigation better, different things like that. Now, there are some companies that are concerned about the change in navigation. I can tell you that there is an option under preferences where I can switch back to the old user interface to work with it until I'm ready to move my team to this new user interface. But really, we really want to move and train and work on getting everybody to the new user interface because that is really what they're going to focus on going forward. But here we have dashboards, so you can see a couple new dashboards, Sales KPI for managers. So here you can see they have data from the system that kind of shows sales month to month, and this is all demo data, so bear with me on that part, but 2014, 2015, different things like that. So it's a new chart style that if we have order information or sales information, we can really lay out monthly sales trends, actual versus target, pipeline charts, activities. I mean, you can kind of get the gist of they've definitely added a lot of views to give you snapshots of data. And that wasn't the only one. They have added, we'll flip to a sales metrics for managers here. So they've added different deals lost to competitors, leads generated by source. And once again, these dashboards are only as good as the data we put in, right? So when we have companies that are leads, we would need to capture the source field and, hey, where did it come from? And we can get these nice pieces of data for our marketing team to work with, okay? And some of the other ones, just to give you a general idea, that was all sales. We can do customer service as well, okay? So we have my open cases, what they are. I could click on one and see the details of what's on it. I could click on it and go to the case. But in general, dashboards are used when a company gets going to really alert them of and give them graphical views of their data, okay? So on with the user interface changes. You'll notice across the top, the tabs, My CRM. So what used to be on the left was My CRM. Now it's up at the top. So if I want to navigate to the different pieces of My CRM, say My Opportunities, I can click there and do that. Now the tabs are still here like we're used to in 7.2. So this is My CRM, My Cases, right? Here's our Shared Documents tab. But when we're anywhere within CRM, this bar is going to be here so we can get to these very quickly, okay? If I flip to, in the upper right corner, okay, there's a recent list, the lookup button, okay? So I can click on my recent list. I want to go ahead and go to a company record. And this is a company record I work with all the time. So we can see visually a significant change, right? Once again, no navigation on the left. There's a lot more white space, the coloring, squaring of the buttons. They've really made it more professional. The good thing is, in general terms, navigation still stays pretty much the same to a user. So here's our tabs across the top. So a lot of you that have used Sage CRM know that you have people tabs and communication tab and the opportunities tab. All that information is still there. It still is organized in the same general fashion. A lot of it is just change in navigation where I have to come up here and I'll click Find Company, okay? And then I can find my company. Very much like what we did before, but before on the left we'd right-click Find Company. Now our find list is just right here and we can search on our different things, okay? And the same with the recent list. It used to be on the left and just said recent, and now it's over here. It's all the recent things I've been to, okay? Administration for some of the users that I see on here, okay? It's still available. It's on the little person icon in the upper right, administration. And then to create new things, we used to have a new button on the left, and now it's this little button here. It's green. It's always on the page no matter where you are. So new company. So I could be in the middle of an opportunity thing. I get a lead in. I want to put it in right away. New company right away. Okay. So overall, the navigation, while it's visually had a significant change and some things have moved around, the general premise has stayed the same. So from a user training perspective, we don't expect a lot of retraining. And it's baby steps too. I mean, I'm sure as time goes on, they're going to keep updating the user interface and making changes to make things more efficient. But this is kind of the first step in that process. Now, for the individuals on the webinar that haven't seen Sage CRM before, I do want to give you just a quick walkthrough before we continue some other things. When we're looking at a company record in Sage CRM, it is integrated with Sage 100, and I know that because right here is some basic information that comes from Sage 100 out of the box. Okay. And then down here, I have a sales statistics tab that this is a customization we do almost for every implementation we put in, where for the sales team and for marketing that we bring over current year sales, previous year sales. Some clients want to have sales by product line so their team can go out there and look and talk to a company or a customer and say, wow, they buy from this product line but not this product line. And, well, do they owe us money before they call, right? You don't want them calling if they owe you a lot of money and they're not paying their bills. So we bring over some sales statistics from the ERP system to provide that information so marketing can potentially search on it and do campaigns, and sales has an idea of what's going on with their customers. When I say they're integrated, if you have Sage 100 installed and I'm on a record, I can click on customer maintenance and it would pop up the customer maintenance window in Sage 100. Okay. Now, at every company, there are multiple people. So this is American Business Computers. Let me go flip to American Business Futures, the one I pick on all the time. Okay. So here I can do customer maintenance, and I can see that the Sage 100 screen popped up right to the customer record. Okay. Like I mentioned earlier, Rma Entry, I can click on that, and Rma Entry pops open for me now. That was a new button that they added this go around. Okay, so the people that work at American Business Futures, so these people work there at all these different positions, and I can call them and record calls with them. But I really get a roll-up of who all works at this company, what position, how have we talked to them. So if I go to communications, I can see if my team has recorded all the communications with this company with the different people at that company. Okay. Those communications could include email marketing emails that have been sent out, different things like that. Okay. We have opportunities, which is the sales process. So it could be a prospect, it could be a customer, where we create an opportunity, a sales opportunity, and maybe we give it a value and a percent to close so that we can really start building that sales pipeline. And that is an integration point with Sage 100. Like I showed in the slide, like quick order entry, I can have an opportunity and I can go into that opportunity and create a quote. And the limitation years back was, well, to create the quote, okay, if I come into an opportunity and I create the quote, I had to have access to Sage 100 sales order entry screen. Now they do have the quick order entry, which allows us to do it through a web page with some limitations, but allows you to generate a quote or an order and print that quote form and send that out to the customer. Okay. Service cases. So if your department or if your company has a service department, service cases are used to track calls coming in from customers about problems they are having at the company. Okay. And it's the same idea. We can have workflow. We can have it send emails to people that we assign cases to. We can have dashboards that show us all our active cases. The flexibility of CRM is the modification of it. So one of the modifications we did for a client was they wanted to be able to have their sales team, they're out in the world and they're on their laptop and they're in CRM to be able to look up if a company has open orders in the ERP system. Okay. So it's something that we can definitely do, and it shows them information about that company, okay, that order. Same with invoices, right? We can get in here and we can look at an invoice for a company, okay, and see what was on the invoice if stuff was back ordered. We had somebody wanted to have the payment history in there so that they could see if that particular invoice was paid or not. Okay, so once again, the flexibility of being able to bring data from another system. And like I mentioned, the wish list. So we're working on and building this idea of the sales team puts items in with a company so that when it becomes in stock, they get notified of that so that they can call those people, hey, you know what, you wanted this item 8972, you wanted 20 of them, we got them in stock. Do you want me to go ahead and place an order? Yes, go ahead and order those, please. And then you're like, well, okay, what else do you want to buy with them? And so it's a way for them to generate additional sales and really kind of gain back lost sales with things that maybe were shipped on back order that never got fulfilled, or just general items that they didn't have in stock and they finally came in. Okay. All right. So that is a general overview of Sage CRM. You're now seeing the new user interface. We've talked about the mobile interface. So I really want to jump to reports next real quick. So one of the changes they made in reports was they've improved the ability to control who can access your reports. Okay. So that was one of the big things before, was who can access reports, different things like that. They've improved on the security wrapped around reports. Now, reports in general, the user who runs them can only access data that's in their territory. So you really can set up Sage CRM to have multiple territories where users only can see data from certain territories. So when they run these reports, they actually only pull from records they have access to. So there's kind of multiple layers of securities wrapped around reports, but they've improved that security, and they've also improved the cloning of reports. So some of you that have made reports and you're like, I want to make another iteration of that report, just different, slight differences. Well, you had to rebuild the report from scratch. Now you can just clone the report and make those changes. So it really is a time saver. Okay. So the last thing I want to touch on with the 9 minutes we have left here, roughly 10, is the Mailchimp integration. So as I mentioned, it has this new integration with Mailchimp. And we're going to walk through marketing, sending a marketing campaign real quick to a group of people. So we're going to go ahead and go to groups. And I've made a group in here that says Purchase CA, not PSA. So what this is I'm using the data from my ERP system to help me do marketing. So here, these are the individuals in my system that I have email addresses for, that work at companies, that buy from my cable and accessories product line, but they don't buy from my printers, supplies, and accessory sales line. Okay. So this group is constantly updated from the ERP system every night. So we always is changing. Maybe tomorrow Frank will call in and order something from the printer, supplies, and accessories line. Well, then the next time I open this group, he will drop out of it because he does buy from this line. Because this group I have set up is, this is $0 here and they spend money here. So there's a new button in groups called Send to Mailchimp. So we're going to go ahead and click that. And what it will do is it will start the sending process to Mailchimp of this list of people. So group is being sent to Mailchimp. Okay. So I'm going to go to my Mailchimp campaigns now. And you can see I've got a couple in here, but I'm going to go ahead and start a new one. Okay, and we're going to give it a name, New Marketing Wave 3. Who's it from? We're going to go ahead and make it from me. Okay, so Mailchimp calls groups segments. So I'm going to look here, and there's the group I just uploaded to Mailchimp. Okay, I want to go ahead and say create the campaign. So now it's going to navigate to a new tab, open Mailchimp. I'm going to go ahead and log in. And so we're setting information. There's our name, here's our subject line, okay, who it's from. They're kind of reviewing everything for you. Okay, it's going to track opens and clicks and plain text clicks. There's Google Analytics. There's auto tweet and auto Facebook posting afterwards. There's a lot of social media integration. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and say next. So here is the templates that they give you kind of out of the box, and then you can build your own. They have tons and tons of themes out there, but I'm going to go ahead and use my cars and coffee. I'm not sure what that has to do with product lines, but I'm going to go ahead and select it. Okay, so this would be my template, and I would build this template. I would change the text, maybe add images, right? Change colors, whatever I need to do to make it fit my marketing goal. Okay. Then I would say next after I'm done building it, and really it's now going to go through and have you double check things like the subject line, are you good with it, different things like that. Okay. You can preview, test it. They have tools that you can, with paid accounts, where you can check it for all their quote-unquote marketing rules that help people get opens and clicks and helps you not end up in spam boxes, different things like that. Okay. We can schedule, we can send. For this one, I'm just going to save and exit for now. Okay. And come back to Sage CRM. So the first marketing wave is the one that I actually already did. So I'm going to go ahead and open it. The nice thing with this integration with Mailchimp is it's live. So if you have SwiftPage, you know it syncs every night. But this one really does pull live, so you can get in here. And if someone opens the email, 5 minutes after you send it, it's going to come in here when you refresh this page, and you'll know it. Okay, I can look on total open and see everybody that's opened it. And then I could create a new group off of everybody that's opened it if I wanted to. Okay, but I'm immediately getting some response back. Look, there were some that bounced. So these are the email addresses that bounced. I may provide this, create the new group, and provide that to my sales team to validate these people's email addresses. Okay. I can also click on Open Campaign. Once again, I get directed to Mailchimp, and I can get information, even more information, pushed from Mailchimp, 24-hour performance, links clicked, social performance, all kinds of marketing data, right, that the marketing team would find very beneficial. And at the same time, back in Sage CRM, a sales team member would know if the marketing team had sent an email, because they could go to a record, look at the communications. So here I'm looking at and I can see where I was sent marketing wave 1, which is what I named my Mailchimp campaign, and it tells me that Mailchimp sent an email to this person. So as a sales team member, I know that they got a marketing email, okay? But I also know that the marketing person may say, hey, go to groups, look at this group here, and that group is everybody that opened and clicked on the email, okay? They may do it that way so that people can see who's opening their marketing emails, okay? So that's a big integration change from the SwiftPage integration from the marketing side. And they're talking about how that Mailchimp integration is actually going to be built stronger and stronger with all the tools that Mailchimp's providing. They're working on bringing even more information into CRM from the data that Mailchimp collects. Okay. So that's really an overview of Sage CRM and the new user interface and a couple of the new tools that they have provided, being quick order entry, promote prospect to customer through the web, Rma Entry, the mobile has definitely changed. I would say if anybody really wants to kind of get familiar with some of that, let me know and I can provide you a link to sagecrm.com, which will give you a 30-day trial where you could quickly just create a login account and I can help you as needed. And it will show you base Sage CRM, but it will allow you to access it with a mobile device so that you can get familiar with the mobile options that are available with 7.3. But that's a very significant gain that keeps growing. More and more companies want this, and Sage is really working towards providing it. And the other big thing that was the Mailchimp campaign. So from a marketing perspective, the integration with Mailchimp is significant in that it's a very large improvement over what SwiftPage provided for the past few years. Any questions? I'm going to go ahead and open the floor, check my questions or chat logs here real quick. Anything anybody wants to review, we have about 2 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes left in the time today. But I know a lot of you, I work with a lot of you that's on this call already, so feel free to reach out to me at any time. And I'll happily, set up a half hour to review, free of charge 7.3 just directly with you so that we can get a feel for if it's appropriate to upgrade and maybe what our challenges might be, etc. I do have a question. If we currently use CRM, can we access the app from a mobile device? Yes, the app is accessible through a mobile device. That said, the company that you work for has to allow access to it. So what that means is there are companies out there that really lock down the outside access to these applications. So if you're out in the world and you're trying to access the system, then if your company has that blocked off, then obviously those apps and those different things may not work. Now, you also can't just download the app and it works automatically because you have to consider the version of Sage CRM you have, right? If you're on an older version of Sage CRM, the app is probably written for the newer version of Sage CRM. Also, to turn the app on, there is settings within Sage CRM that if you're using the downloaded app that we have to change, turn on, etc., to prep it for the mobile access. Okay, so there is a little setup usually involved to get it ready. And then we also have to, like I said, be concerned about the version you're on, because with apps, like most of us know, I mean, we have our mobile devices, and I don't know about you, but about every night I see an app updating on my phone. I mean, there's constantly revisions coming out and things are changing. So it becomes a little more imperative that we keep our systems up to date. Is there a cost associated with the newer version if we're currently using older versions of CRM? Not for the software. If you are on maintenance already, then no, there's no additional cost for that. Now, to do this, an integrated system has to be upgraded on both sides. What I mean is we have to upgrade Sage 100 ERP, some of you call it MAS, and Sage CRM at the same time. They both have to be brought up to the current level. So there is a small project. There is a project there. I shouldn't say small. It depends on the company. But there is a project there where we would have to upgrade the ERP and the CRM system at the same time. Okay. Okay, so if there's no more questions, we've only gone over a little bit today, so that's good. But if there is, please feel free to contact me, Chris Mendrink C. Mendrink at DWD Technology Group. And then after this, I will ask the marketing team to send out the PowerPoint maybe to the attendees so that you can look through that again. And I think I have some documentation about 7.3 for everybody to read through if they would like. So I want to thank everybody for taking time out today to review this with me, and hope everybody has a great week. Thanks, everybody.